I applied for my first art market with nothing but a sketchbook, and somehow they said yes. But how did I get there? Honestly, I still don't really know, so let me back up a bit. If you ever felt like you might not be a real artist, then you might relate to this too. So I grew up in the 90s, which basically meant no phones, no TikTok. We only had dial-up internet where one person could be on the internet at any one time, and I had an older sister who loved ICQ. So I spent my days doing anything creative because that was the most fun. So I was playing the piano, I was dancing, I was drawing, but I only ever saw it as a hobby. Coming from a Filipino family, my parents moved from the Philippines to Australia to give me a better life, more stability, more job security. So I always thought, similar to my parents, that creativity was a luxury. It wasn't something that could actually earn money. So I went into finance. I got a job at a bank. I was doing data analytics for years, but the creativity never really disappeared. I spent a lot of my uni life and a lot of my working life in a dance crew, dancing hip hop, and honestly, it was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. So fast forward to 2015, and that's when I moved to London. And I went to my first dance class and thought, this is really weird. I didn't move all the way to the other side of the world to just do the exact same thing. So instead, I really embraced traveling. I love being close to so many different countries around here in Europe. And I picked up a pen and started drawing. I just wanted to remember all of the beautiful places that I've been. So that is what started me on my drawing journey. I did this for about 6 months and I didn't share it with anyone. And I went to Germany, met up with a friend, and she made me promise to put it online. I mean, I only had a personal account, but putting any of your work online and saying, hey, this is me, that was terrifying. But I did, and I started sharing my work with my friends, and they were super, super encouraging. And I think that this is one of the reasons why I feel so strongly about encouraging other artists as well, just because I know how much that helped me. Now, the thing about drawing for yourself is that it's really easy to stop. And I think I went probably through my lowest points of my life, depression, anxiety, and I no longer felt like drawing. I never felt like picking up a pen and drawing the beautiful things that I saw around me because there wasn't any. Until 2022, which is when I got married to my husband, PJ, or Paul Villanueva. Yeah, he goes by 2 names. And as a gift to give my guests, I wanted to draw them something, and so I drew a picture of myself and my husband as trees, and the reaction at the wedding was just so beautiful and heartfelt that it just made me think, why am I not sharing this gift with more people? But did I act on it after the wedding? Of course not. No, I waited like another 6 months to do absolutely nothing, and I put a call out to the universe and was like, all right, okay, I really need help. And one day I lost my voice completely, and that never happens. I had no voice for 7 days, and during that period, I got a message through our WhatsApp group looking for local artists to apply for an art market. And not only was it an art market, but it was downstairs, literally at the entrance of my building. So I had absolutely no excuse. So I thought about it again. You know what? I definitely overthink everything, but I had nothing to sell, so I just took photos of my sketchbook and applied in that way. Once I had applied, that's when I realized I wanted to do this. So regardless of whether they would say yes or no, I would get my stuff together and create art prints. So I went hard. I bought a printer. I started creating all of my prints myself. If you want to know more about that process as well, you can just watch that video here. Come to the art market. I think I was over-prepared. The art market went really well. I basically made up the money which I spent on the printer, and most of the people who bought prints were my friends. And so again, like I can't say how much I appreciate everybody who supported me along the way. After the art market, I had way too many prints, but you know what, everything happens for a reason. And so I was like, all right, cool, I've got all of these prints, let's start an online shop. I put my stuff up on Etsy, I put it up on a website, and then I kind of just like waited to see like who would buy it. Surprise, surprise, no one could buy it because no one could see it. And I thought, I have been avoiding this the whole time. Let's start with social media. So if you think you have to have social media before you apply for an art stall or before you do any of that, that's not true. I did it the complete other way around, and left the thing that I found most daunting till the very end. And that's when I just started going for it. To begin with, everything I posted felt a little bit forced. It felt a little bit cringe. But I realized just when I was little, it's just another form of being creative. Putting photos or videos or arranging things on your feed, all of it is art if you just let it be and try not to force it. So that's exactly what I did, and that's what I embraced. And after a few months, I think I started in like January 2024, and by about April, some of my posts started getting traction, which was really nice. And I grew my account to over 60,000. Now, I will say this, is that even with having a large account, it doesn't always equate to more sales. I would say my followers grew a lot more than my sales did. But again, I just took that as a sign, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's that people might be relating more so to my content than the actual physical product itself. At some point, my Instagram growth slowed. I had so many friends telling me that they think I was shadow banned, like I've done something, because they literally cannot see my stuff even if they wanted to. But I just took that as a sign. Maybe Instagram wasn't the only option. There was TikTok and there was YouTube. And whenever I thought about YouTube, it was actually super, super scary. And was I really scared to put myself out there, put my story out there. But for some reason, this time it felt like it was the right thing to do. People think that I am extremely confident, that I don't mind speaking in front of the camera, I don't mind sharing my work, but that's not actually true. I had basically convinced myself that every single time that I would do anything, I would be rejected without even trying. That fear still applies, like right now. This has been the hardest video that I've ever filmed because it's just weird talking about myself. Being an instructional video, I can go bang, 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 that's fine. But for me, very different when you're talking about yourself. But yes, this is the thing about art, and this is the thing about creativity, is that doing it for yourself means no one else can actually be touched by your work. So the more that you practice putting yourself out there, the more you face those fears, the quicker it becomes for you to not fear doing anything new. And in this career, everything is evolving. Actually, in any career, everything is evolving. It's moving at such a fast pace. And to survive it, I just think that all of those rules and systems that we had previously had in our minds need to be broken, because that is limiting us, or at least that has been what has been limiting me throughout this creative journey. So I hope that helps. Where did we get to? So now we're closing out a London chapter. So me and my husband have quit our jobs and we're moving back to Australia. It's a little bit emotional because this might be the last video that I film here in my little studio. I feel a lot stronger in myself and the decisions that I made. And I think that through this creative journey, I've learned so much about myself. I'm not sure what's next when it comes to art. I've got a really good feeling about YouTube, so I just want to keep sharing my journey because I think it helps others too. My husband is a music producer and he's my favorite music producer. And we have also been creating events here with friends. So we've been throwing raves. We're coming up to our 4th one. And I hope to collaborate creatively with him and other creatives as well, because I think working by yourself is fun, but working with other people can be even more. So if you resonated with this story, let me know which part in the comments and what part of the creative journey that you are on. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, please hit the like and subscribe button for more. Bye.